Indie rock, you've heard the term, even your mom has heard the term. But how can you separate the bands that are really independent from those sucking on the grand old record industry teat? Here's a crash course. If life were simple, indie would just be music that's not put out by Warner, Sony, BMG, EMI, Universal, or their subsidiaries. To be indie, you'd be signed to Sub Pop, Epitaph, and Matador, or even better, a label that no one's ever heard of in someone's garage. Because indie is about doing it yourself, like the 70s punk movement. Hey, if you've already got your own zine and silkscreen your own shirts, you might as well start a label too. In the beginning, these do-it-yourself productions usually involve 4-track recorders and crappy-sounding 7-inch records, where crappy sounding was a badge of honor. The sound of these bands usually had either the fey lyrics and jangly guitars of British twee pop, or the angular sounds and screaming of the hardcore and post-punk crowd. In the 80s and 90s, labels like Touch and Go emerged, and SST were there to put records on the merch table, and folks like the Minutemen, Minor Threat, and the Replacements became icons. The rise of these bands was supposed to sink the record industry, but in the mid-90s, when punk rock broke, the major labels were there to cash in along with everyone else. Bands like Rocket from the Crypt, Jawbox, and Sonic Youth got major label deals, potentially alienating their original fans. Since that time, there's been some backlash, but for the most part, indie bands can sell tons of records like anyone else. So is it really about labels? Well, all we can safely say is that indie music is not quite as produced as alternative and usually involves guitars, drums, and lyrics sung by people wearing lots of plaid and corduroy.